Hello, my fascinating Renaissance friends. I'm happy to see you again, although it is via Zoom. Okay, the past two episodes, that's episodes 180 and 181, it's the Lenten season in the Philippines. And based on experience, that season is really a season more of being with family, being with somewhere else. So I acceded to what our advisors have said that not to launch new episodes and let our subscribers and viewers, although of course those in the Philippines be may not have celebrated Lenten season, but it is also a day of reflection. So we've decided to accede to a pending request from most of you, and that will be replay of certain episodes because they tuned in or they discovered our wonderful channel, and it has helped them midway or more than 50%, like episode 100 already. And they have requested, because I keep on saying, go back to episode 9, which is really a foundational episode and things like that. Said, would it be too much if you just, replay that because you would really like to see it and then connect it with what you've been, discussing with us. And so I said, okay, since I have prepared for episodes, January, February, and March, because again, I wasn't around because I went into a more than 2 month vacation in the U.S. And I'll tell you more about that. But basically, we have already replayed from the very beginning episodes, 1 to 6. And last week, we replayed episodes 7 and 8. All right. So to be able to accede to again the remaining pending request, I have decided, okay, that for episode 182, all right, I will be replaying episode 9 because it will again segue into a new series, okay, tentatively entitled Reflections. Because in the past episodes, January, February, and March, it has been aging gracefully, aging elegantly, aging wisely through the eyes of several disciplines. Okay, so I've decided that we will go back, to living La Dolce Vita. Okay, so with that in mind, my fascinating Renaissance friends, welcome again to episode 182, which is a replay of episode 9. Okay. Hello, my fascinating Renaissance ladies. Welcome again to our channel. And I'm excited. We are on our ninth episode. Can you beat that? It's ninth episode, and we're still here. And if you are new to our channel, okay, and you will be hearing things for the first time, like how am I greeting all of you, fascinating, not beautiful, and Renaissance ladies. What do you mean by that, Miss Malu Cervantes? That's who I am here. All right, and then I strongly encourage you to click on your left side, and that's where I would strongly suggest that you watch all of these episodes, of course, during your time, so that you can be in the loop. Why? Because our episodes build on each other. That's why if you come in here and say, "What are we talking about? What personal manifesto are you talking about? What's ikigai? Why do we need to do all of this?" It's all explained in there. All right, and I think the seventh episode I started sharing with you, the one discipline.
that has helped me, really look at life from a different point of view. I can honestly say it somehow, well, it didn't really save my life per se, but it actually gave me a very clear direction what I want to do with the rest of my life, really. Okay, see, the title of our channel is what? My Season of Life. And then, under that is life at 60 and beyond. So even if you're just 20 or 40, it's okay. You can stay with us because it will help you navigate, because all of us are going to be 60 and beyond one day. And if I knew then what I know now, my transition would have been what? Would have been a lot smoother. Okay? Because I wasn't a life coach then, but right now I would have clients who told me, Miss Malo, I'm just so glad that you're there. I have somebody to talk to because I thought I'm getting crazy and things like this. And I told them, yeah, that's why I put up this channel specifically for that. I'd like to share my journey with you so that you can really, get rise from it, in one piece, instead of the difficulty that you have to undergo. Okay, so um, we are in the process of me sharing with you how you can create, because you have to create the life that you want. It is not somebody else's dictates to you. That is definitely not your life, and you may not want to live it. And I have given you tons and tons and tons of ideas how to do that. Just go to the episodes. Okay, all right. So I'm still in the process of explaining for you based on your request. What do I mean by those characteristics that I've listed? I've listed 9. Okay, listed 9, and one by one I'm explaining it. And this is the 6th one. Okay, the first one is just for review. It's being joyful, not just happy. And the second one is being grateful, not just being satisfied. And the third is being contented, not just adequate. And then, the last time is being free, not just without chains, which is a powerful concept. Okay. And also thriving. Okay. Not just surviving. There's a big difference there. Okay. So now we will look at the 6th characteristic. And I shared with you is wealthy, not just being rich. And I'm sure, just like my friends, it's Malu, that is synonym. What synonym? It's the different words, same meaning. Okay, so all right, so but for you it's different. Wealthy, not just rich. So there's got to be a different meaning for you. Yeah. Yes, and not just for me. If you really look at or talk to people, they may have some differences. It's similar, but they're also different at the same time. Okay, let's begin with rich, because everybody can identify rich. Okay, pag sabi mong rich, high income, lots of money. Okay, lots of material possessions. Okay, 10 cars in the garage, Lamborghini, Porsche, name it. Okay, owning a yacht and things like that. So you think of Jeff Bezos. Okay, not so much Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is not doing a lavish lifestyle. He lives in one of the houses that he is selling, which is worth 10,000 prefab. Okay, so but rich people live lavish lifestyles. Think Hollywood, think celebrity. $34 million homes. Just like I think $34 million was the home of J Lo and Ben Affleck, and now they're divorcing after how many months? Okay, fine. And rich means spending and spending, shopping here, shopping there, all the high end. Okay, and it may or may not be sustainable, meaning it is maybe based on high income now because they are executives, they are A-list movie stars and all of that. They are baseball players, football players, but then again, if they don't handle their money, what will happen? They will now declare bankruptcy, just like Nicolas Cage and the other celebrity, sports people. Okay, so that's being rich. How about being healthy? Sorry, wealthy. Okay, so wealthy is of course having also a lot of this, but the big difference is, you know, they have lasting resources. Not this, not just the savings, not just the contract of 34 million. After that, it's gone. For them, it's generational, resources that they leave to their, their descendants, and then they have assets, long-term assets, like they have mansions here, and they have homes here and things like that, and they have held it for several years, all right. And but sustainable quality of life, they are not showy, they are not lavish, they do not they do not show people, they just dress with quality. It's sustainable because they know how to manage their finances. Okay, but not only that, let's go beyond that, because that's money. Okay, being wealthy in terms of knowledge, right? I mean, somebody can have a lot of money, but when you talk to them, they don't talk sense, because there's not much, because they stop learning in school. All right, you have to continue learning you have to grow in knowledge. Okay, at the same time, how about Warren Buffett? I like that this guy is a billionaire. Yeah, I'm wealthy from the point of view of I have loving relationships. Okay, the people I love me too. See, what's the use of a lot of money if your marriage is, if your marriage is breaking up, if your children don't love you, if your children don't want to see you, okay, what's the legacy that you're gonna leave behind? You may have money, but you're not wealthy, really. Okay, so that's one characteristic I want for a great life. I want to be wealthy more than just being rich. In fact, I really don't care about being rich. I have money to eat what I want to eat. I bring out, my grandchildren, I have the money to spend that, buy something new maybe, go to have a vacation in a nearby place, not necessarily around the world. That already is a great life for me, guys. Okay? I don't need millions and millions and millions. Okay, so but that's for me. Okay, if you like money, fine, as long as you are happy and productive and useful, fine with me. All right. So what's the um what's the second characteristic, or sorry, the seventh characteristic? Okay, in the list, right, I place there: healthy, not just free from sickness. Okay, meaning, all right, I'm healthy, I'm not sick, yeah. So fine, if you're free from illness, from sickness, well, that's a blessing, isn't it? You know, but I just don't want to be free from sickness. Okay, in fact, I have another one. Okay, healthy, not just free from sickness, and maybe I put there, wellness, not just wealthy, healthy. Wellness, not just healthy. What do I mean? Okay, I guess when you say health, that means physical. You can walk, you can, you can ride. Your muscles are okay. Fine, that's physical health. How about mental health? Like, we all worry at a given time, of course. We all worry about inflation, but we are able to relax. We're able to, to let go. We're able to function. That's mental health. How about social emotional, like, we have healthy relationships, with our friends, things like that. That's healthy. Now let's go to well-being, and here I'd like to focus on well-being. Okay, the journals of medicine, will tell you, I'm not a doctor, but the journals of medicine I read, they said well-being is basic human needs met. That's objective well-being. Meaning, when you say objective well-being, your human needs are met, like, you can eat properly, you don't have difficulty, drinking, you can sleep, peacefully. All right, you don't You don't suffer from any PSTD, ailments like that. That's for them objective, well-being. But there's also a subjective well-being, and what is that? It's subjective, so which means personal assessment of the level of satisfaction and happiness, that you feel on a daily basis, which is really holistic, because we make that decision, no? Meaning, even if we have a cold, even if we have a headache, we can still feel happy. We can still feel happy. Why? Because this is what we think. Well, this is just this too shall pass. All I have to do is rest. Okay, I have a comfortable bed. You know, I have an air conditioned room. I can rest. Fine. Tomorrow I'll be okay. Right? So even if I have colds and sniffing and the stuffy nose and all of that, I'll be okay. And basically, I'm happy. I'm not really depressed because I have a cold, I have a flu, That is what we call subjective well-being. Okay? So that is what I meant, by healthy, not just being free from illness, and not just healthy, but, experiencing well-being, wellness. All right? Now, if this has helped you, this video and this sharing with you all of this, if this has helped you, again, give us a thumbs up. All right, give some thumbs up, and I will be I will appreciate, your comments that you can, post below, right? And subscribe so that you will not miss, any of our coming episodes, and just hit, the bell icon there. And this is your coach, your life coach. This is your mentor. This is your fellow traveler in this, in navigating this autumn of our life, which could be the best years of our life. And so, Miss Malu Cervantes, is signing off. So remember, my fascinating Renaissance ladies, life is beautiful.
There you have it. My fascinating Renaissance friends repeat performance of episode 9 based on insistent public demand. And we will be ready for our fresh episodes, after the next episode that we will have. Don't forget, to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any of our, on our freshly baked episodes. Until then, goodbye.